Okay, so this is LEGO Star Wars set 75434, the K-2SO set. This set comes with 845 pieces and was released earlier this year in 2025. This is the droid from, I believe, the Rogue One Star Wars series, and then it reappeared in one of the follow-up series on the Disney Channel. I kind of saw this droid, and I usually don't build too many Star Wars sets, but this was actually an interesting set, and I kind of wanted to build it. I thought it was a pretty cool looking droid. So it does come with this small placard here. This is it talks about the K-2SO, the kind of droid it is, its size, affiliation, and then there is a little mini K-2SO droid on the placard as well. This is a printed piece. And then the set itself, I did my best to kind of make this appear. So it's a nice set. It's kind of tall, obviously, to display the size of the droid, but it is a little flimsy, from the base. So you just have to be really careful about, how this displays. But the arms, the arms move. The head does move. You just have to be kind of careful with the head. It is kind of flimsy, and it can easily break off as well. I suppose you could take it you might be able to take it off the stand and kind of stand it up a little bit and move it around, but that's pretty much it. The body doesn't move from this point of view. The arms do move, as well as the hands, or the hands of the droid. But overall, I mean, for 850 pieces, I enjoyed building it. It's an interesting build. I mean, you build pretty much duplicate of the size. You build the legs, the arms, the body, and then the head at the end there. So it was fun to build. And I think for 845 pieces, and it cost $89.99, it wasn't too bad of a deal. But I do think it was enjoyable enough. The set does come with not too many stickers, so that was an interesting piece of this. It didn't have too many stickers, so I like that it was kind of empty that way. Instruction booklet. So again, there's a nice picture here of the droid on the front page, and then it just basically gets into the build. It doesn't talk all about the build. It doesn't talk about the droid or anything. So I think that's one kind of disappointment here. It doesn't really have any kind of background on the droid at all. It just sort of displays it. There is a piece or a picture here on the back of the droid. So that's a little bit of a disappointing piece of this. But again, like I said, it was an interesting set. I enjoyed building it, and I think it's a good display piece. I would certainly recommend it if you're a Rogue One fan, a Star Wars fan. But if you were into the droids, I think it's a good display piece, certainly for LEGO Star Wars fans. So I hope you enjoyed this build, and if you did, I'd appreciate you clicking on like and subscribe. And once again, I appreciate your support, and thanks for watching.